Guardians will play tonight. That's exciting. Is that exciting?
Yeah.
End of the regular season. Is it still exciting? I mean, they could lose these last 4 games and wouldn't change anything. They could lose tonight against the Reds. They could blow all 3 against the Astros. They're not going to do anything. They're still set for the 5th and the 7th, right? For the first round of the playoffs there. It's probably not the kind of morale you want going into the postseason, but at this point, they probably figure it's all gravy, baby.
But if you can get that first seed, so they're still playing for that number 1 seed.
Mm-hmm. What if they don't get, what's the benefit of getting that first seed?
You have home field advantage.
They already have that.
In the second round, too.
Oh, so there is a benefit to
Yeah.
it. All right, so don't blow it against Cincinnati and Houston, guys. Guardians listen to this show, by the way. That's what I was told, is that pre-game, they huddle around one of the players' phones. And they do that thing, if somebody doesn't have a speaker, they do that thing where they put it in a glass.
Yeah.
So, Reds, Guardians tonight at 6:40, and then the 3 against Houston Astros Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The next 5 days through the end of the month, you can use that promo code with CLE Clothing Company. You're going to want to use Guardian for the remainder of September. And then when October kicks in, you want to use Erie, as in the lake. But a little bit of a double entendre there for Halloween, too. Somebody printed the highest salaries of all of the athletes in the state of Ohio, and they were all from here. There's only 2 of them with the Cincinnati Bengals. And obviously there's soccer players and things like that, but they're not making no $4,500 or $45 million a year. So basically all of the highest paid athletes in the state of Ohio, other than Joe Burrow, he's at the very top. They're talking about all the money these guys made.
Joe Burrow makes more than Deshaun Watson?
He does. Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
he made $65.7 million in Deshaun. Well, because Deshaun Watson's, his gets broken up, right? And
I mean, they all get broken up. But
I mean, he's got his.
Deshaun Watson still had more guaranteed money, but Joe Burrow's contract is bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's a pretty big drop off, $65.7 to $46 million. And that's Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. Smack dab in the middle is the only other guy who's not from Cleveland, some guy in the Bengals named T. Higgins. And then dudes from the Browns, and but I mean, there's soccer players that play here too. But they're a guy with FC Cincinnati makes $4.2 million. And then there's a guy who makes $3.5 million. Who plays for the Columbus Crew, and a guy who makes about 10. He's the highest paid on the Columbus Blue Jackets. So there's no hockey or soccer players on the list, but
Blue Jackets.
Well, not on the list. I mean,
Oh.
I'm just kind of saying, as the nod to people who pay attention to that. But it's basketball and football players and baseball players from Cleveland. Jose Ramirez at the bottom of the list. He's the only one from the Cleveland Guardians there. But soccer players in there, too.
This has been
the Alan Cox Show, pandering to soccer fans.
Right. Nobody cares, but they are making money there. Do we get Whoopsie's Week 3 picks tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yeah.
Tomorrow. It'll be another 5 picks?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't have an unblemished record, but she's
still
doing pretty well.
Above 500 right now. She is 8-7.
Okay.
Overall, but she's gotten every single Browns game correct.
Okay. Well, if she can keep that going, because we do have people, we have people who bet based solely on what she says. And that's a dangerous game to play.
8-7.
Yeah.
You won more than you lost.
Mm-hmm. Somebody was putting together an article about Browns backer bars in other cities. And I can only think of one in Chicago. There might be more, but I can only think of one. And that was before I was ever even in Cleveland and knew anything about anything. Ironically, there are a lot more I don't know why, but there are a lot more Steelers bars in Chicago. There's probably more than one Brownsbacker bar, but I don't know that there are, the hardest thing that I found when I first moved to Cleveland was I had a hard time finding a Browns backer bar in Cleveland.
That's the tough, the tough end of it.
It wasn't easy.
When you travel, you want to feel like home, but when you're home, screw yourself.
When you're home, right? Because normally, you go to a place, you're traveling or whatever, and they'll tell you, or you can Google it and they'll tell you. You come to Cleveland, boy, you can't find. There's no information whatsoever as to Browns bars. They probably have one in Queens.
They have one in New York City. It actually might be
in all of New York City. They have one Browns bar.
It's huge, I guess. They
Wow.
get like hundreds of people every week.
Okay.
I've been to the one in Indianapolis and the one in Portland. They're both really cool. If you're traveling and you've never been to a Browns backers bar and you are a fan of football, I highly, highly recommend it. Because all the ones I've gone to, it's like literally every Cleveland expat in that city shows up.
Right.
They usually have either the whole bar. Oh, I've been to the one in Denver, too. So I've been to 3. They either have the whole bar or like half the bar reserved. You get discounts on food. Some of them do like raffles and stuff like that. Like it's really cool.
I would also think that the Browns backer bars would be more fun than some other teams because nobody who's not from Cleveland is adopting the Browns.
No.
So those are people who either from Cleveland, have family who's from, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people who are like, Snoop Dogg. Oh, he's a Steelers fan because of the colors or whatever. There's a lot of people that will do that kind of thing. Nobody is adopting the Browns as their team unless they're from Northeast Ohio. The Big Apple Browns backers is what this says.
Mm-hmm.
On West 52nd.
According to their website, it's like multiple levels and they'll have to open up different like parts of the bar depending on how busy it is.
It sounds like it's at a hotel. The bar at the Liberty, is that a hotel or is that just the name of the building?
I have no idea. I've never been to that one.
Oh.
I went to whatever the one was in New York City, but that was 17 years ago. So I don't know if it's the same place. Doesn't sound like it.
I mean, I can't find a Bears bar in Cleveland because it just shows me gay bars.
You are a homosexual.
Where I'm going to... That guy called again. The other guy wants to rub my feet. The other guy. He keeps leaving me messages. And obviously, I don't know who he is. But and I don't have the heart to tell him that that's not my vibe. Because he's so sincere and so genuine. And obviously being so real with me. And vulnerable.
Mr. Cook, I want to take you to Thailand with me, and we can cut the beating hearts out of snakes while we eat them, watching the sunrise together. Then we can brush each other's teeth, and then maybe I get diarrhea, so I have to take some Pepto-Bismol while you massage my feet, and then I will massage your feet, and then we can eat a pickle. Okay,
I mean, obviously, he's putting himself out there. And I simply can't reciprocate. Yeah, according to this map, there isn't a single Bears backers bar in the state of Ohio.
That's crazy.
I mean...
I did 2 Thursdays ago, whatever day the Bills played on a Thursday. Apparently, this comedy show is in one of the Bills Mafia bars in New York City. So if it's like in the basement and they're like, yeah, it's pretty light. There's only 2 people down there. I was like, did you guys know about the Bills game? And they were like, I really don't like the type of person who is like, well, sports ball. I don't care about sports. I'm like, if you're running a live event at a bar that is geared toward one fan base, you kind of have to care about sports.
Wait, who is it that doesn't care?
You don't have to care about sports. You have to be aware.
Like the comics who are running the show.
Oh, I see.
You have to be aware.
You have to understand if there is a Thursday night Bills game going on at a Bills Mafia bar, maybe we don't do comedy that night.
Yes, right.
And the show ended up being fine. Ended up being like 10 people there, but it was like people were stomping their feet on the ground above us because we're in the basement of the bar, and so you hear people screaming and they're chanting and they're doing all that. I mean, they're enjoying a Thursday night football game, but I was like annoyed at the attitude of like, I would never put sports above comedy. I'm like, well, you kind of have to, dude. That's like the whole theme of this bar is the Bills. And it's once or twice a year that they play on a Thursday?
Oh, yeah, and you also have to understand that most people would.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you're not exactly fishing where the fish are. No, it was probably winter before last we were in New York, and it was when the Bills were like, I think, deep into the playoffs. And we were visiting a friend of ours, so it was him and his girlfriend, and Gwen and I were in the corner of this bar. It was just this great, like, Lower East Side bar. We're sitting there having, all catching up and having some drinks. And like it wasn't even on our radar. I knew that those playoff games were happening, but it didn't even occur to me. And within at 45 minutes, the whole place is full of Bills Mafia. And we're like, oh, the vibe in this place just changed. Because it wasn't like some huge bar. It was like a neighborhood bar. And it was great, and it was, vibe was cool. It flipped when those, painted faces, screaming, yelling. And I'm like, all right. I mean, we stayed for a little while. It's not like they ran us out or anything. But I'm like, okay, well, this is, we're taking up space for them now.
Right.
When they could be kicking it back here in the corner watching the TV. The only solace I took is I think the Bills lost that night. And
if it was a playoff game, probably.
Yeah, they did, right? Yeah.
Probably playing the Chiefs, and they probably lost.
That particular night, they did not win, I don't think. But, yeah, if you're going to have people there, I mean...
It was like, I get it. You're cool. I get it. You're cool, and you don't like sports, and you think you're doing a very important art form right now, but you kind of have to contend with
Right.
this.
Well, I mean, two things can be true. A lot of people don't care about sports.
Sure.
You
have to if that's your venue, though.
Right.
You have to.
Right.
If you don't want to care about sports at all, do it at a black box theater. Don't do it at a Bills Mafia bar.
Right.
What's a block box theater?
A black box theater. Oh, what did you say?
No, he's just being annoying.
Oh, what did you say?
I said black box.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I heard block box.
He's being annoying.
You heard block box?
I heard block box.
Oh, that's what you heard. Mary, that's what he heard.
I know it isn't.
Said your things are. You have a show tonight? You out tonight?
Yeah, I have one set at 10:15.
All right, 10:15.
Yeah.
Oh,
I got moved up. I was supposed to be at 11:15, and someone asked me to switch, so that was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I did a show at the Comedy Cellar last night.
How was that?
So good.
You didn't get
Dude,
bumped?
It was so good. No, I was hosting.
Oh. Who was on?
It was Emma Willman.
Yep.
Sam J.
Emma's been in here.
Yeah, Emma's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Mark Normand.
Yep.
Gary Veter.
Oh, I like Gary.
Matt Ruby. Napoleon Emile, who is very funny, that I did not know about before that show. And then a guy from Philly, Tyler Rothrock. I think that was the whole lineup.
Gary Veter. Wow, I haven't heard about that dude in a minute.
He's got that Number One Dad podcast that I heard playing every single ad for.
Yep.
But it was fantastic. It was sold out. It was so much fun.
Is the original one or?
No, you're not allowed to do shows in that one. This was in the Fat Black Pussy Cat lounge.
Not allowed to do shows.
If you're not so like some of the other rooms will do produced shows. The lounge specifically will do produced shows, which means if you're not passed at the Comedy Cellar, you can still be on a produced show if someone books you. But like the original McDougal Street room and the Village Underground, and then the Fat Black bar show, those three are only for people who are passed at the Cellar.
Okay.
But it was still incredible and super fun.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
All right.
That's really good.
All right. I gotta take a break. I want to leave.
Let's just leave then. You don't have to come back.
No, you don't have to. I do. And tell everybody what's coming next.
Just tell them now.
Yeah.
Dumb things.
Why not? Just tell them now and shut the show down.
No, I'm a creature of habit.
You got 3 minutes. Just tell them now.
Just tell them now.
I'm a creature of
habit. Tell them now.
Maybe I don't want to tell him now. I was gonna until you told me I could.
You know how he is.
You got me on my Block Box Theater now, and I don't want to.
Block Box.
All right, well, tell him what you're doing.
I will be headlining the Funny Stop the 11th and 12th of October, and then Patina Arts Center down in Canton the 19th of October. BillSquire.com for tickets.
Mary Lynn, you're on stage tonight. Anybody in New York, go see Mary at 10:15.
If you look at Mary Santora Comedy on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, I posted all of my upcoming shows, including this week in New York. And then I'll be back in Cleveland October 18th and 19th at the Funny Stop. And then next week in Bentonville, Arkansas. So.
Oh, that's Walmart country.
Yeah, brother.
That's the NWA, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.